Hello, my amazing first grade friends. This week we are finishing up our dancing penguins. Remember, we've been working on some seasonal art inspired by the season that we are in right now, winter, which is why you see snow and ice. And we're also going to be showing movement in our art by making our penguins look like they are dancing today. So be thinking about your best penguin dance moves as we go look at what art materials we're going to need to finish up our project this week. All right, let's go ahead and open up our art folder and find what we need. So last week we did our background, and I know some artists had to be independent artists and finish their iceberg. That's the first thing we need. And then there's a lot of piece of papers that we need today, my friends. We need these first three. There should be that small bit of white you cut off from your iceberg, a small orange piece, not the really big orange piece that's still in your folder, okay? Small white piece, and then one black piece of paper as well, my friends. So I'm gonna go ahead, I'm gonna lay these all out. So you can pause the video if you need to and look at everything that I grabbed out. Make sure that you have everything that you need too, my friends, okay? Don't forget, I got my background up here as well. So here is everything. Again, two smaller pieces of white paper, one small piece of orange, one big black paper, and your background. So my artists, we're going to be using these pieces to make a lot of different penguin parts. For example, we need a body, a belly, we need 2 arms, we need 2 feet, we need a beak, we need some eyes as well. So we're going to have a lot of steps today. Our first few steps though, my artists, we're going to do some folding, some drawing, and some cutting, okay? So all I'm going to do first is fold, draw, or cut. So I can push my glue and my paint off to the side, make sure I have my pencil and scissors ready. First thing, let's go ahead and start with our penguin's eyes. Now we need 2 eyes, so I'm going to teach you friends a trick this week. Take the smallest piece of white paper you have and go ahead and fold it in half. The reason we're folding it in half is to get 2 pieces of paper right behind each other. Now an eye shape, my friends, eye shapes can be all sorts of different shapes, but I normally like to do a round kind of eye shape. So I make like a nice large to medium sized round eyeball, and I'm going to cut my paper now while it is folded. Okay, so I drew a circle on that folded piece of paper and I'm cutting it out now. And what's going to happen, my friends, even though I only drew one eye and I'm only cutting it once, when I let go in a moment here, you're going to notice that I will have 2 circles. Look at that. So now I have 2 circles for my penguin's eyes. I'm going to go ahead and put this piece off to the side for now and put my eyeballs up here at top. All right. Next thing we need, I'll use my other white piece of paper. We're going to need a penguin's little white belly. Now, penguin shape itself is kind of like a large letter U. So on this sheet of paper, I'm also going to make a large letter U. I'm going to start all the way at the very tippity top and curve my U around almost to the very bottom and then come back up. Now, does my U have to be perfect? Nope, because again, every penguin is different and every penguin body looks different as well. So go ahead and draw your letter U, and then I'm cutting it out right away. So there's my letter U, and I'm going to put my scraps off to the side. So far, I've used my white 2 pieces of paper. I've done 2 eyes and 1 belly for my penguin. Now comes a little bit trickier part, my friends. We're going to do the penguin's body now. Now, if I line up the belly at the very, very bottom of my paper, you can see how kind of big your penguin's body could be. Now, notice, did I go all the way to the very tippity top? No, because we still need to use this black paper up here to make our flippers or arms for our penguins. So I'm going to use a white crayon for this step to draw my upside down letter U now. You can use your pencil though and still be able to see it, my friends. So watch. I've got my belly again lined up at the very, very bottom of my paper. And I'm going to draw a larger upside down letter U around it. Again, not going all the way to the tippity top though. And there's my penguin body. You can see how it looks nice and big around my penguin belly, right? That way I know I'll be able to fit 2 eyes and a beak here still, and I still have some room up top here for my penguin's flippers. So now that you've drawn that large upside down letter U on your black paper, my friends, I'll go ahead and move my penguin belly, and I'm going to cut that out. going to go ahead and set it right over here with my penguin's belly. Not gluing anything yet, just lining things up so you can see how my penguin is starting to come along. Okay? Now these scraps though, like I said, we need to make flippers on this top part here. So watch what I'm going to do. These long little bits that come off, I'm just going to go ahead and cut those right off. That way I have more of a rectangular kind of piece of paper. Now again, if we're going to need 2 arms on our penguin, the best thing I can do, my friends, is fold my paper. So I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to fold my paper this way. That way I got 2 nice even pieces. And now I'm going to make some flippers on here. Now flippers, they kind of come to a little bit of a point. So the way that I like to draw my flippers is kind of like this, my friends. I might start at one edge of my paper, and I like to make a smiley face curve as big as I can on that piece. And then on top of that smiley curve, I like to make a frowny curve as well. I'm making kind of what I call a flat football shape. You see my flat football? Probably just didn't get pumped up with enough air. But that's what I'm going to cut. And again, my paper is folded. That way when I cut this one penguin flipper that I just drew, and I only need to cut once, I can end up with 2 flippers. So pull my 2 apart. I'll go ahead and put them next to my penguin for right now. I don't know how I'm going to make him dance yet. We'll see in a little bit how I'll make him dance. Or her. Could be a she as well. Alright, we're just down to our orange piece of paper now, my friends. And this orange piece we're going to use for our penguin's 2 feet and to make a beak. So, once again, if we need 2 feet, the first thing I should do with my paper is fold it. That way I only need to draw and cut once. Now, penguin's feet are kind of like a crown shape. So watch what I'm going to do, artists. I'm going to start to draw a square. And I'm going to draw one side, second side, and even a third side. But I'm not going to close my square. You see, I'm not going to do the 4th side yet. Because instead of doing a 4th side, I need to make the pointed toes of my penguin. So I'm going to use my zigzag line, but here's a secret, my friends. Can my zigzag touch any of the other 3 lines of my square? No, it can't touch them at all, okay? So as soon as I start here, I can't touch another line on my square again. I'll bring my zigzag down, and then up, down, and up. Notice, did any part of that zigzag touch this line, or this line? Only at the beginning and the end, nowhere in the middle. Now I've made my crown shape. Again, I'm going to leave it folded as I cut that shape out. And now I have 2 penguin feet for it to dance on. We're going to tuck those behind our penguin. Alright, the last thing I need is a beak, my friends. That's a triangular shape. If you notice, I already have a couple pieces here from cutting out the toes on my penguin's feet that almost look like triangles. Or I can even open up this piece that's a little bit bigger, and I could draw another triangle on here if I wanted an even bigger beak. So, there's my triangle. I'm going to cut out again. You could use those pieces as well if you don't have a big piece of orange left. And I'll go ahead and add my little beak onto my cute little penguin, just like so. And look at that, we have a whole penguin body cut out and ready. Now the one thing Miss Great forgot to grab today was a black marker, my friends. Black marker or black crayon, because we need to add some little black irises and pupils onto our penguin as well. And you can do crazy eyes or loving eyes. You could do regular eyes or maybe sleepy eyes. You could even do winking eyes, whatever type of eyes you want to make on your penguin. I just went ahead and did normal eyes today. So now that I have all these pieces, I'm going to start pulling my background up. That way we can start gluing things, my friends. So a lot of this stuff is going to get glued just right onto our penguin's body, except for our 2 little feet. Those are going to get glued onto our penguin. So I want to start there today, my friends. I'm going to pull out my glue, and I'm going to glue those 2 feet next to each other on my iceberg. And I'm just using dot, dot, not a lot. So I'll go ahead and put 1 foot here, and I'll put my 2nd foot right next to it. They can be a little bit spaced apart. They don't have to be super duper close. But I'll go ahead and hold and count to 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now I'm going to go ahead and move my penguin's arms because remember we want to make them dance, so that's going to be our last step in a moment. And I'm going to go ahead and glue everything now that's on my penguin's body down. So I might start with the eyes, give them a couple little dots of glue. And I want to do the belly before I do my beak because otherwise my beak might get tucked under my belly. So I'll move that for a moment. Grab my belly, make sure I do my dots all the way around, not too close to the edge though, right? I'll line that up at the bottom of my penguin. And then all that's left on its cute little face is that beak, like so. Okay, I'll hold all those down together and count to 10 now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now I'll go ahead and glue the penguin itself onto my background. I made a really, really big penguin, so mine pops off quite a bit. That's okay, no worries. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All right, artists, and the last thing we're going to glue now are our arms, but we want to make sure that we're making our penguin dance some fun way, whether your penguin's dabbing or whether it's jumping up with its arms. Maybe it's kind of a shy dancer, so its arms are down. Maybe it's just waving hi today. I've even seen some penguins that they dance so much that, ooh, they need to go use the bathroom. So you decide, play around with your penguin's arms before you glue them down and decide how you want your penguin to look while it's dancing. I think I'm going to put my penguin's arms way, way, way up here at the top today. Now the very last thing that we have with us today, my friends, is our white snow paint. And again, we're making seasonal art, so we can add some snow if we would like. But do you have to add snow if you don't want to, my friends? Not on this one. On our landscape, you had to add snow because that was part of our landscape. For our penguin though, my friends, if you do not want to add snow around your penguin, you don't have to. If you do decide to, you can use either your Q-tip or your paintbrush to paint some snow around your penguin. But don't cover up too much of your background, please, because I still want to be able to see your cool or cold colors, all right? So I'll leave that step up to you, independent artists, if you want to do some more painting. And I think the last thing I need to tell you, friends, is that this week in SeeSaw, your homework assignment is to take a picture of your finished penguin and turn that into Miss Graded. That way I can see what your penguin is dancing, all right? So my artists, I will go ahead and say goodbye. And as always, have fun creating, my friends.